Massive questions for the Home Secretary Yvette Cooper tonight. Taylor Swift was given a taxpayer-funded blue light escort to her Wembley concert on the same day Yvette Cooper attended that concert for free, reportedly. It's believed that the police initially refused to provide an armed guard for the special escort group, which is normally reserved for the royal family and government ministers. This is the same level of protection the Home Office has refused to provide for Prince Harry. But this is where it gets really interesting. Taylor Swift and her mother reportedly threatened to cancel the gigs following a terror threat in Vienna. A source says that Home Secretary Yvette Cooper then stressed to our police force that it would be embarrassing and economically damaging if Swift cancelled. But it has been revealed that the Home Secretary went for free to a Taylor Swift concert as a guest of Swift's music label Universal Music because her husband, Ed Balls, was given 4 tickets and she went with him. So she did not declare this because apparently the tickets were only worth £170, which is less than the 300 quid that would make it a declarable interest. And on that same night, Taylor Swift got a taxpayer-funded blue light escort to the gig. There are also reports that Sadiq Khan was involved, the same Mayor Khan who unveiled the Swiftie steps and a mural to her and then attended the concert as well for free. Labour seemed confused about what went on here, really. Culture Secretary Lisa Nandy seemed to admit that Labour politicians were involved with discussions with police over that taxpayer-funded escort. She then got mauled by Sky News' Kay Burley this morning.
Sky News was at these events in these same boxes as well, to be completely fair.
Who was there?
And, well, you were there.
I paid for my tickets.
But
I paid for my tickets.
Well, he's paying for his tickets.
Eventually, he paid for them.
But you know, he's paying for his tickets, and he's
Eventually,
been clear
I paid
about
for mine
that because he thinks it's
8 months
important.
earlier.
But he,
so please don't do that.
No, but he genuinely does think it's important.
Who else
and
went
he is
apart
paying
from
for
me?
it.
From Sky?
Well, I went, and I've declared that in line with the ministerial code.
But you don't work for Sky.
But your suggestion is that somehow they shouldn't be going.
My suggestion.
Grief. A statement from the Home Office initially suggested that Labour was involved in discussions about a police escort. This statement reads, of course, when events of this scale take place, you would expect the government, the Mayor's Office and the Met Police to work together to ensure that they can be held safely and securely. Well, ex-Tory leadership candidate and the former Home Secretary James Cleverly wrote a letter to Yvette Cooper to get clarity on this, asking, did you or any of your ministers speak to Sir Mark Rowley at the Met Police about protection for Ms Swift? What advice did you or your ministers receive from Sir Mark or other senior Met Police officers? He went on to say that the role of this escort group is not for use by pop stars. Well, now Labour are backing off a bit, saying that they weren't really involved. This is a police matter. Nothing dodgy has happened at all. And even if they were involved, it had nothing to do with the fact that a load of Labour MPs were looking forward to seeing Taylor Swift for themselves. It comes off the back of numerous sleaze allegations. Starmer himself has finally U-turned and paid for his own tickets to that concert. But now, 59% of the British public think that Labour is sleazy. And if the police and Labour ministers thought the terror threat against Taylor Swift was really so bad, then why did so many Labour politicians, including the Prime Minister and, as it turns out now, the Home Secretary, go to her concerts themselves? Surely they can't have been that worried by the terror threat, can they? I mean, there's another thing as well to keep an eye on with Sir Keir. Remember when he said this about beer and korma gate during lockdown?
But if the police decide to issue me with a fixed penalty notice, I would, of course, do the right thing and step down.
Well, now he has been referred to police over a potential breach of electoral law regarding Lord Wahid Ali's £18 million Covent Garden penthouse. Starmer told Parliament that he was living at Lord Ali's in Covent Garden, but on his nomination form before and after the election, he appears to have declared as a sworn truth on his election nomination form that he was actually living in Kentish Town. That is according to the Guido Fawkes website. They say that the law is clear. You must list a current address or you are committing a criminal offence. Keir Starmer denies any wrongdoing, but let's watch this space. Either way, I just don't think Labour can recover from this horrendous start. And I will stress as well that Yvette Cooper is currently denying any wrongdoing as well. Let's get the thoughts of my panel. The director of the Popular Conservatives, Mark Littlewood. We're also joined by businessman and activist Adam Brooks and broadcaster and journalist Nina Mishkov. Yeah, Mark, I'll start with you on this. So the idea that one of two nights where Taylor Swift was given a taxpayer-funded blue light police escort just happens to be one of the nights when our Home Secretary was attending. What do you think about that?
If you want to be kind, it's a startling coincidence, isn't it, Patrick? If you want to be very kind. Look, what Labour's done here is they have dug their own grave on public ethics and then absolutely dived in head first. They could not have been, you've shown some clips already, they could not have been clearer that everything was going to be cleaned up in politics once and for all. We heard Keir Starmer, just a clip earlier, no VIP fast lanes. Well, what was this if not a VIP fast lane? If they had not been holier than thou on every single thing the Conservatives took, I don't think they'd be in anything like this sort of trouble. They could actually say, look, it's not sort of normal practice for politicians to meet at quite high-grade events. We shouldn't be ashamed of it. But when you start to be able to piece together, at least prima facie, on the face of it, that there's a connection between entertainment of politicians and different security decisions, or at least some influence exerted by the Home Secretary on a procedural position, it looks absolutely terrible. Labour here is being hoisted by their own petard. What
do you make of this, then, Adam? You know, Yvette Cooper saying, well, I couldn't declare this at the time because it was only £170. I'll stress again, the tickets were given for free to her husband, Ed Balls, by Taylor Swift's music label. She then went along. I mean, if they were that worried about the terror threat for Taylor Swift, surely they wouldn't have gone themselves.
That. You know, you wouldn't let children go there, would you? You would put a stop to the concert, or there would be some sort of mass policing there. But look, I don't think anyone thought the first 100 days of this Labour government would be so chaotic. I expected them to be bad. I didn't expect them to be this bad. Now, I speak to people out and about, and it's very much now, it's us and them. These were meant to be for the working man, for the working woman, but they're getting freebies, they're getting use of an £18 million penthouse, they're getting free clothes, free glasses. You know, Lord Ali is like an ATM machine, they can just go and withdraw money. This is embarrassing, and I don't think Labour are going to get rid of this label now.
Well, on that, 59% of the public apparently think Labour are sleazy, which I don't think many people had on the bingo cards when Labour first came into office, to be fair, Nina. Can they recover from this?
They will eventually recover, but of course they're stuck with the label because they've really screwed up. They have screwed up. And part of that was because they didn't have the right team in place. They've now hopefully moved towards that. The other thing is that, you know, the election was called earlier than everybody thought it was going to be. So they're kind of scrambling to get themselves elected, but then they didn't have the right team in place. And they have screwed up. Sue Gray was a woman who thought journalists were scumbags, which she's in Cabinet. Now, the thing is, with the media... Thank you. With the media, well, you're media too, and you're a journalist, I assume.
I thought you were going to say I was a scumbag then for a second.
No. The thing is,
just a lunatic.
The thing is, between politicians and media, there is a game that has to be played, and she wasn't going to play that game.
Yeah.
And now they're hopefully going to play the game. Now, can we get to the Taylor Swift thing? Because it's all gone completely over the top. There is some thinking that Taylor Swift does not deserve an escort of that kind. Well, let me just tell you why she does deserve it. First of all, it's there for royals, senior politicians, visiting heads of state, OK, who might be in danger.
Which one is she?
Well, wait a minute. Taylor Swift, and this is you being snobby now, Taylor Swift is the largest pop star in the world.
Oh, well, she could pay for it herself then, couldn't she?
Now, hang on a minute. She can't provide armed motorcade, OK? She's the largest pop star in the world. She has just come from a threat in Vienna, which had 3 concerts cancelled.
Yep.
She has 500,000 fans coming. Now, when Ariana Grande gave a concert in Manchester, it wasn't Ariana Grande that was harmed. Yeah. It was, unfortunately, our young people who died.
Right.
So
Well,
it's not just to protect Taylor Swift; it's to protect her
the
audience.
yeah,
Now, hang on a minute. She also brings
How does it protect her audience?
because if somebody will get in the way of her. That you look.
Hang on, the blue lights to get her to Wembley is clearly for Taylor Swift, not for the fans.
Yeah.
There was not a suggestion that there should be, I don't know, another 300 armed security guards outside of the stadium.
But listen,
this was directed to protect Taylor Swift.
Can I just get right to the nub of this, though? Because, look, there is a case to say that Taylor Swift should have a blue light escort.
Yes.
OK, so there is that case of it. The issue here, really, is whether or not the Home Secretary at the time decided that Taylor Swift should have one.
Yeah.
On the day that she was due to attend that concert.
You don't
free.
know that. You don't know.
Well, we do know that.
What we do know is that she did attend that concert for free on the day that Taylor Swift was given that.
The point being that Taylor Swift brought £1 billion.
No, I'm sorry. No,
Nina,
look.
And for her to cancel, she threatened to cancel.
Well, she may do, but I'm afraid this Nina, this is private enterprise. I dare say that Adam occasionally has to pay for security at his pub. That's not paid for by the taxpayer, despite the fact that Adam's pub generates income for the economy. Football matches and the security around them are paid by the football teams.
The £700,000 that it cost was paid back by the organisers.
The entire cost of this should be borne by private enterprise,
well, so it
not
was
by the
eventually.
state.
It was eventually.
Right, but eventually, the cost of security for a big concert, by and large, unless you've got a specific terror threat that MI5 identified, should be paid for.
Have you ever been with a pop star in a car that's covered with screaming fans? Because I have.
But that's a private matter, not a state matter.
I won't ask about that, but
I tell you,
it's all right. We haven't got time.
I've been in South America with a motorcade escort
but
with
they're paid
guns
millions,
sticking out
pay
of
for
the
security.
Oh, Adam, it's how it looks, though, isn't it? And again, you know, Yvette Cooper, Ed Balls, anyone else I've dared to mention about this will deny any wrongdoing. But it looks as though a load of different Labour MPs had tickets to go and see Taylor Swift, and they were desperate for that concert to go ahead.
There's a word. It stinks. It completely stinks.
And if this was
the Tories, if this was Boris, if this was any of the high-ranking Tory MPs, this would be all over the Mirror. This would be all over the Guardian. This would be
so many freebies. It wasn't even worth
this would be a big deal. And look, it might not be. It looks very sus.
And the key thing is Labour asked to be judged by a higher level of criteria.
They have screwed up. But
you bet they have.
Going for Taylor Swift and saying she didn't
deserve... Not going for Taylor Swift.
No, going for this particular item, she did deserve...
Do you like Taylor Swift?
Yes, I do.
What's your favourite song?
I am not going to go into this.
Okay. On that note, for want of a better phrase. That was a lively start. Thank you very much. No doubt this story will rumble on because it just kind of is all the details are coming out about an hour before I came on air. So we await for any more info. But, well, talking of, getting things for free, it is time for the great